first of all, I agree with the Prime Minister about Alan Johnson. It is fantastic news that he's on his way back to his family. Recent attempts to cause massive loss of life in London and in Glasgow remind us of the very real threat that we face in this country. There are a number of measures that we believe would make a difference. First, we support the use of telephone tap evidence in court, so we don't just catch these people, we convict them and lock them up. 6 weeks ago, the government agreed to our proposal for a Privy Council review of this issue. Can the Prime Minister tell us how soon it will publish the names, when will this meet, and when will it report?
I'm grateful to the right honourable gentleman. I hope that right across the House, right across the country, unity in our determination to fight terrorism, and remind people just how brave and courageous were the explosive experts in London, and were those people who tackled the terrorist activity that happened at Glasgow Airport. And I hope that we can continue on an all-party basis to agree measures that are necessary in this country to deal with the terrorist threat. On the specific question of intercept, I can tell him that we will go ahead with our investigation, carried out on Privy Council terms, and of course I will consult him and the leader of the Liberal Party on the names of the people that will conduct that investigation.
David Cameron. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I hope we can make progress. It is a complicated issue, but it isn't complicated setting up a committee, and that should happen without any delay. Second, we need to act against groups which are seeking to radicalise young people. Almost 2 years ago, the government said that it would ban the extremist group Hizb ut-Tahrir. We think it should be banned. Why hasn't it happened?
Of course, in all these details, and I have had to deal with this at the Treasury when we're dealing with terrorist finance, you have to have evidence to do so. And it's precisely to examine the evidence that we instruct a number of investigations. Let me tell them what we will do. We'll expand the watch list, which is the cooperation right across the world, from Europe to the Arab states, of potential terrorists, so that we list them in such a way that authorities in different countries can be warned. We'll expand the background checks that are being done where there are highly skilled migrant workers coming into this country, where people sponsor them. We will ask them to give us their background checks. Thirdly, as a result of what has happened in the National Health Service, I've asked Lord West, the new Terrorism Minister, to conduct an immediate review as to what arrangements we must make in relation to recruitment to the NHS because of what we know has happened over the last few days. And finally, of course, we will want to sign new agreements with other countries around the world so that we act together to deal with the potential terrorist threat, and we are able to deport people to countries where they should be rather than in this country. And I hope, again, that there can be all-party agreement for the measures, yes, for the measures that we are taking to ensure both the security of British citizens and to work with other countries in the fight against terror.
Thank you. I mean, very interesting answer, but I asked a very specific question. The Prime Minister said we need evidence about Hizb ut-Tahrir. This organisation says, and I quote, Jews should be killed wherever they are found. What more evidence do we need before we ban this organisation? It is poisoning the minds of young people. 2 years ago, the government said it should be banned. I ask again, when will this be done?
Yeah, we can ban it under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, and of course, I think the Leader of the Opposition forgets I've been in this job for 5 days. Order.
Let the Prime Minister answer. Let the Prime Minister answer.
I think I have agreed that we will look at this issue, but we need evidence, and the evidence can't be just one or two quotes. What we must do is look in detail at the evidence, and I hope he will agree with me that we approach these things in a sustained way and in a calm way, and we do not jump to conclusions. We look at all the evidence, and that is the basis, Mr. Speaker, on which this government will proceed.
But there have been 2 years of elapse since the government said it would ban this organisation. I think people find it hard to understand why an organisation that urges people to kill Jews hasn't been banned. Now, as well as preventing radicalisation and stopping future dangers, we need to protect ourselves against present dangers. Does the Prime Minister agree that the time has now come for a national border police force?
Well, I am prepared to look at this, and I have, of course, when I've been Chancellor of the Exchequer, looked at how the Customs and Excise authorities can work better with the police to secure border arrangements. But I have to say to him that everybody who looks at this issue, including Lord Stevens, who looked at this issue for him, has concluded that complementary to a border police force is the need for identity cards. And it is his party that continues. Yes, it is his.
Can I,
John Reid, former Home Secretary.
Can I first of all congratulate my right honourable friend for taking on the stewardship of this country and commend the cool and steadfast way which he and the new Home Secretary have handled the difficult circumstances. In relation to the question of the Leader of the Opposition, can I confirm what the Prime Minister said, that we have recently carried out 2 reviews of our Hizb Tahrir, and we have decided that there is not sufficient evidence, and can I therefore ask him to stay absolutely on the course he set today and to stick by the law and the evidence and not by any arbitrary political advantage which he thinks may be gained? Can I tell him that nothing...
Order. If the honourable gentleman could just be very brief now. Order.
John Reid not used to asking
nothing
questions.
would be more politically disadvantageous than taking a case without evidence and losing it. It would confirm all of the accusations made against us. Well done.
Let me thank my right honourable friend for the work that he did as Home Secretary, in particular the work he did in setting up our new arrangements for dealing with terrorism. I have to agree with him. However distasteful remarks that are made by organisations are, we must proceed on the basis of evidence, and we must work within the law. And I have to say to this House that there will be no panic reactions on the part of a government like ours. We will work in a strong and steadfast manner, working within the law.
Rob Wilson.
Rob Wilson, Conservative.